Life is out there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like the breeze. Oh, it's a country road. Take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads.
God damn. Ow. That sounds like a fucking song, right? Okay, I'm gonna take a break now because I don't know how long it's gonna take until that doesn't happen. Look at that. Look at that thing. It's like it's felt. I don't remember it feeling like you're cutting off your fingers, basically. But goddamn, it's cool though. It's really interesting to see what happens when you start to learn something new again. And it's been a long time since I really pushed myself and figured I was gonna do something. I was gonna make sure that this is done, right? I've been saying it for so long. Oh, I want to play the guitar. And my guitar has just been lying there. Time to change that. Let's change that.
Boom! All of a sudden, I was not where I was just a second ago. The power of video editing. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. Actually, let's just do a little recap because this is a challenge, right? And one of the biggest things that people tend to struggle with when it comes to this challenge is what do you speak about, right? And it's very simple. It's just talking about what you feel and what you think in the moment. Bad, good, whatever. And I guess once you've done that a number of times, you get used to it. You get used to just opening your mouth and something comes out. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, sometimes it's like, ooh, where did that come from, right? And that has changed for me since the last time I did the challenge. The first time I had no idea. I was like, what should I talk about today? And I tended to go into marketing. I was very much about talking about how to make money online. And I think the first ones that I did was very much about first the freedom of life, different business models, I think. I was into drop shipping, talking about those things, a whole bunch of things. And I really didn't know a lot, but I soon realized that I knew more than I thought because I was studying it. So I was, of course, learning more than a person who didn't study it. And I think that is a very big lesson because we tend to undervalue ourselves because we think that everyone just knows, but they don't. So in this challenge, I wanted to go into more of a thorough explanation of things. Maybe even talk about where I was before I got here, the story, like actually going into the story this time, because last time I think it was the second or third video, maybe. And I just tapped into my story. And I didn't want to share it because it was too close to heart. But then I lost Violetta to deportation and Michelle, and that kind of blew my soul right off the gate. I was not the same person after that. So when I had gone through that pain, sharing anything else didn't really matter. It didn't really feel like it was something that would impact me in any way. So I just went with it and I just started to talk about it. And all of a sudden it became my brand. And I was like, people are now knowing me as the person who did those horrible things, but who changed those and became someone else. And every time I go back to the challenge, that was the one thing that kind of changed that for me because I was able to start talking about the trauma. I was able to talk about the things that really, hit home and made me almost tear up every time I talked about it. And then after the challenge, I found psychedelics, and now I'm that guy. I went all in. that seems to be a thing with me. I tend to go all in, and I really didn't think about that much before, but Michelle has said that much to me, that you get very focused, you know, and it's not a bad thing. She's not saying it as a bad thing, although I do tend to go overboard. Like I tend to go so focused, so all in, that sometimes it hurts other areas of my life. So finding that balance has been a huge thing. Just at least after the challenge, after I started to see that there was some possible way of making this happen, then I had to start thinking about the balance, because nobody else was going to do it for me. So I had to really figure out, who am I and what do I want to do and how do I do that? And how do I do that while doing all the other things that is expected of me, like as a father, as a partner, as a son, and it demands a lot. But it changed me. I became someone completely different, and now I have come to see personal development as a thing that is very much lacking in Western culture. Because I'm talking to so many people at so many levels all the time, every single day, and I soon realized that I do that more than other people who don't, right? And speaking to other people about what they see in their scenarios. Let's say my dad, he's a paramedic, so he sees a lot of different, accidents. He sees a lot of horrible situations, but he also sees a lot of good situations. And he has a lot of friends, and everyone knows him, right? We can't go out to lunch without someone coming up to him and saying, "Hey, how are you doing?" And odds are that he has saved their life. They're there because he saved their life. And that is nothing short of respect, like honorable. I see that and I get like, wow, that is amazing, right? So he has a lot of different scenarios from his life that he can pull in from, and he gives me stories. We talk about these things every other week. We sit for hours every day. Who can do that? Sit there from 8 in the morning until like noon and just speak, just talk about interesting stuff. Sometimes even like 1:30. It's very funny and interesting and educational and just insightful, because he also talks about the things that he sees in his life, and he also see the same patterns. Although me and him are probably one of the few people in his life that actually talk about it in the same way we do, because most people don't talk about it. They don't talk about the arrogance of the Norwegian. Actually, I think there's the proudness of the Norwegian, arrogance of the American, probably. We all know what I'm talking about. No need to hide it. We all come from different cultures, and Norwegians are cold, and we are very much like, we want to do it ourselves. We're too proud to receive help or ask for help or say anything is wrong. And a lot of Norwegians tends to try to keep up with the Joneses and just be like everyone else. So we talked a lot about that, and in other conversations I've seen that fear is a huge thing in many, many lives, in many, many aspects, many, many different situations, that is allowing fear to keep people away from what they actually want in life. So, long story short, which is already starting to attract numbers, personal development is something that I did not understand or see or experience enough before I found psychedelics. I'm not going to talk about how you have to do psychedelics to figure things out, but personal development, just being more self-aware and just seeing things in a different light and just being more humble. All these things. Listening. That's huge. Holy shit. Just sitting and talking with people, and when they speak, you shut up. Even today, it's rare that I actually find myself in situations where people honor you enough to finish your point, where you have a deep conversation that requires context. It requires a lot of explanation, basically, ground setting, and just building up the vibe, I guess, the understanding, until you get to the point. That happens rarely. So I've just come to accept that that's not going to happen unless I'm on a call like this, or just talking to myself like this, or speaking with someone who is like me, who see things like that, active listening, those things. Those things alone changed my entire reality. And I'm sensing a tangent. It's coming on. I'm not going to go there though. I'm not going to go there. I want to use this challenge to really go into where I want to go again. Because I feel like I've achieved a lot. But I still feel like there are areas there I can improve. There are things that I can start to take more serious. There are things that I want to really change about myself. And to be honest, do you really do that if you don't keep yourself accountable? And to be honest, how often do you keep yourself accountable? That's why New Year's resolutions are just bullshit. They're bullshit. I mean, you have to be a pretty strong person to just say something at New Year's. Odds are you being drunk. And then following through. I mean, it's a joke by now. So I figured the best way for me personally is to just say it out into the public. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. And I'm not doing it for you. I think that's the most important part of this entire thing. I'm not doing it for anyone else than me. Because when I'm talking about these things, I'm getting clarity in my mind. When I'm talking as if you are a person, which you are, of course, but for me, you're nothing but a glass lens and a few blue lights. So seeing that and then being able to get my thoughts out there, it's really therapeutic. And I really, I recommend that wholeheartedly because I've seen lives change, many lives, because of this simple thing. Or journaling, just writing, whatever. But the important thing is I don't do it for you. I do it for me. And, then you have that whole stigma gone. You're not doing it to please anyone. You're not doing it because you fear what would happen if you do it. You don't care about what other people think because you're doing it for you. Ram Dass said, if you're going to make a good cup of tea, make a good cup of tea. Make the best fucking tea you can. Just for the sake of making the tea. For me, I want to improve my life. I want to change my entire reality. And I think I have already done that to a very big degree. But I think that I can go further. I think that I can go, well, I don't know if there is any limit. I don't think there's a limit. That's probably the problem, though, because I tend to talk about things limitless. And when people listen to that, they're like, what? What? You see, just an example. I'm building my way up to a center, a human development center that is using innovative technology like AR and AI and VR and all these different things. That is using technology in a way to promote personal development. That is bridging the gap between reality and virtuality so that people actually know how it is to be human without having to depend on any set technology. So becoming superhuman then, because we have technology today that is literally doing that. So a human development center that is also using psychedelics in a very new, innovative way. Because I think that from what I have gathered with the people I've talked to, which are authors, journalists, researchers, doctors, I don't think I've talked to politicians and lawyers about this, but I have them in my circles. We've talked enough for me to know that this thing is very, very, very important. It is not just important, it is transformational. It is one of those industry crushers. So for me to get there, I have set a goal for 250 million crowns. And I don't know if that's what it's going to cost, but when I say that to people, they're like, okay, because it's so far out of their reality. And it was for me as well. I started with the field, and then that field became a bonfire on the field. And then I figured we need a fence around the field because we need people to stop at the gates and put in their cell phones so they don't have cell phones in the field. And then there has to be instruments around the bonfire. And then let's do some ceremonies there. And then it just continued to go and just add upon itself. And now Valhalla is 1 out of 9 human development centers around the globe. 9 of them, to be exact, because that's how many worlds there are in the Norse mythology of life tree Yggdrasil, which is coincidentally what this is called, the Yggdrasil network. I have no idea how I'm going to get there. I have no idea how many centers there's going to be. I have no idea other than we are very well on our way to get there. I don't care about how. I just know why and what. That's it. And by just focusing on that, knowing that every single brick I lay every single day is going to lead to a house someday. Sound like a intro to a song, but just doing one thing every day, just keep on doing whatever I need to do to get to where I want to go is going to let me get there. That's how walking works. If you do the things, you're going to get to your goal. So that's been basically what I've been doing for so long. Since I started this, I've just been doing one more thing. And everyone around me, my closest, say that you're doing too many things. And I get that. I get how that seems like I'm doing a lot of things. But it's never a lot of things. All of the different things that I tried and failed horribly at were things that I can add to my repertoire. Things that I can add to my knowledge base so that I know how to do that. If I want to do it again, I can do it differently. I can do it in a way that I know is going to work compared to what I did when I didn't know what was doing. Now I have this whole thing we're business solutions. I don't know, we don't have it. We're tech rebels. That's the easiest way to say it. Tech rebels. Basically, we have several different things that we're doing because honestly, when you're doing things alone, you need as many income streams as you can. It's just because one of those can just dry up overnight, then you're fucked. And one of them might not be big enough, and then you're fucked. And that you get the point. So you want to be as creative as you can, right? So we have this other thing that is beside the Legacy Forge, which we're going to talk a lot about. But this other thing is about business solutions. So helping out businesses. Let's say that you're a business provider. Let's say that you are a service provider, a coach, consultant, maybe you're an artist. Who the fuck cares? Whatever you are, basically. If you have value to give to another human, we have systems and technology and resources and all that stuff combined with our experience and just what we know about these things, and that we actively learn and grow in these things every single day makes us, just logically better than people who don't. So that's what we're doing as well. I don't know what the point was for that. I have no idea. I think it was just doing one thing a day is going to lead to something, and we are doing so many different things, and these business solution thingies are a product or a result of us having gone through so many different things. And I'm saying us because we are not just me, right? Just look back at this video. Brody Van Goodlife sitting there and singing Country Roads, the reggae version. We are so many legacy forgers now that I have no idea where we're going. I have no freaking clue. I just know that we're going to change the world, and we already have to some degree. And it might not seem very logic here from your perspective if you haven't followed the journey, closely. We have the Legacy Forge, and two members, my son is actually in there as well. 2 members are in there from my family. And they're the ones that, you think that the family is going to know what you do, but that's not the case when you do something that nobody does. So we have communities all over the place. We're doing so many things that I just don't find it worth to share all the time. Now I'm going to start doing that, though. It's time for me to just, here's what we do. You want to be a part of it? You come along if you feel like it. Usually I have a logo up there, and I just now irk myself that I forgot it. But if you want to know more, go to Seppola.com or thelegacyforge.com or thefmlproject.com. But go to Seppola.com. Actually, go to thelegacyforge.com. See, there are so many things. If you want to just be in a tribe of people who are doing things that are amazing, go to challenge.torsabola.com. I never had a place. I never had a thing that I could say. Now I have several, and that feels very liberating, to be honest. And I think that is the first clue. That if you want to do something, if you want to do anything that is going to give you freedom, first of all, you need to do something that allows you to have time. In my philosophy, my personal, humble opinion, when you remove the time and the money constraint, that's when you have freedom, because then you can focus on what you want, right? So the way I saw it, the first logical step in our world today would be to teach people how they can sell their knowledge and gain money from that. So create an income stream for what you already know. When you do that, that's when you can do whatever you want. That's when you can gain freedom. That's when you become a legacy forger. Because then you don't feel the pressure from your employer or your government or whatever else keeps you alive. And you can start to think differently. You can start to do things differently. You can start to do what you want and say things as you want. That is a pretty decent, awesome life to live. So it's all about freedom and legacy forging. And if I can do that for the rest of my life, I'm one happy dude. And I'm already pretty happy. Which is also something that I'm going to talk about tomorrow because I'm running out of time today. I don't want to create these 100, like an hour long videos every day. I know that a fraction of you are going to see these videos from experience. But I think that if you were serious about changing everything in your reality, I will try to do that during this challenge. I will try to do this in the best way possible to teach you exactly what you need just through this challenge. Because I know that you can get every piece of information that you want in this world is available for free. The only thing is people don't really want to invest the time to get that. Which means that I could give you everything that I want. If this video goes above 25 minutes, 98% at least will not have the attention span to follow that through. Which means that I could give you the secrets to the Philosopher's Stone, and only a fraction of you would actually find it. That's so interesting. Human psychology. So fucking interesting. I'm not going to drag this out. This was already a long video, but have a fantastic day. Take care of your freaking family, and I will
See you in the next one. Join us in the Legacy Forge.
challenge.torsepola.com. Love your face. See you tomorrow. Actually, look at this. Look at this. This is something I've always wanted to have, but I never really knew how I was going to go about creating it. Now it's here, though, and I like it. I think it looked good. I'm happy. Subscribe, follow, comment, and share. And all those things. Now I can say bye.